Hi everyone. How are you? I hope fine. I think you already understand what we are going to discuss today. But these unpopular opinions are mostly confessions that I have to throw out of my chest because I have noticed that some of these points are becoming problematic in the K-pop community. Let's start and don't forget to stay calm, these are just things I think. 1. You have to learn to be here for the music, not the idol's personality. I have noticed, especially lately, that many fans try in every way, almost obsessively, to always try to get to know their idol personally. Which is quite normal from one point of view, but on the other it creates a lot of problems for me. Let's start with the fact that it is impossible that you are here because of the personality of your idol, for the simple fact that you do not know them. You will never know how your idol really is in real life, and as a result, you cannot base your life on what you see on them through a camera. But I don't blame you for it. K-pop is really profound in some ways, and making you believe that all of these idols are something you can relate to is one of them. And the companies really manage to rip you off and fall into this mousetrap. They create a purely positive image to make all idols appear beautiful in the eyes of the spectators, making them believe that he or she has a personality like a god and with which you can relate, when in reality, most of the time, it is not so. And this is where the problem is. Comments like, "Oh, but he wouldn't really do that," or "No, but she's too good to hurt someone," make me laugh. Because you do not know these idols, it is useless for you to defend them in this way, as if it depended on your life. You will never know if an idol will be able to do this. You will never be able to know if an idol says or thinks these things, because you are not with them, you do not know them, and it is useless for you to keep pretending to doing it. This will only create problems for you. This is something I have learned recently. Yes, I follow groups that I am attached to very much, but at the same time I am afraid that any of them, at any moment, will do some bullshit because I just do not expect them to do this. And I'll be really upset. And it is also for this reason that when a scandal happens, I remain neutral until there is actual evidence from the agency or some private investigator. Because I don't know anything about the private life of my idols, and you know what? That's okay with me, because I follow K-pop for the simple musical factor, because I love what music gives me and makes me feel, not because of the personality of some person I don't even know. It is useless that when a scandal happens with your idol, you defend them or insult them heavily, because they could have done it or they could not have done it, and that is why you must learn to stay out of business that does not concern you personally. If an idol has a problem, they have to solve it on their own and with the help of the agency. They don't need you to defend them. Stop believing you are a champion of justice when you are nobody. I know it will seem hard to say this, but it is something you have to keep in mind, because you cannot elevate the personality of a person you idolize or even know above your moral values. Trust me, that if you learn to be here just for the music and to listen to what these people give you, instead of going, quote unquote, getting to know them, your life will be easier. 2. You keep saying that bad music exists, but you forget the fact that it depends on the tastes of the person. Bro, it's useless for you to tell me that Blackpink music is mediocre and sucks, because for me it doesn't. And it's useless too, if I come to tell you that BTS make great music with great meaning, if they make you sick. I think many of you don't even know what bad music is. To make a bad song, a song must have a badly done backing track, the same thing for the beat, some lyrics that don't make sense. In short, everything must be done badly from start to finish. For example, I consider Despacito a bad song, but not because it actually sucks, but simply because I don't like it and think it's overrated. It's a mess and because it doesn't make a fucking sense. But I don't go around saying that it sucks, that it's bad music trying to convince others, because I know that everyone is different. And it is also useless that I try, because Despacito has been loved by the whole world. Just look at the views it has, the song. And is it a problem for me? No, I'm going on with my life and I'm going to keep thinking this, but I'm never going to tell people to think the same like me on this song. Because if it's different for them, then that's okay. It's nice to hear different opinions. 3. Are you here for the music or the fandom? I have wanted to have my say on this matter for some time, and now I will. In my opinion, to stop following a group because you don't get along with the fandom is stupid. Let's start with the fact that saying that you no longer follow a group because the fandom is toxic, it's stupid. Because at this point, then you should stop following all the groups that you stan, because every fandom, big or small, has a toxic part. It is up to you to decide which part to interact with and which part to talk to, because if you look for the needle in the haystack, in the end you will only hurt yourself. Second, no one forces you to make contact with people who follow the same group as you. I understand that all of us would like to have people with the same tastes as us, but if you really don't like a fandom, just don't talk to them and don't get in touch with them. I am a Blink, but I hate this fandom, or at least most of the people in it, which is why I never speak to any Blink, other than the polite and good ones. Third point, it is also impossible that you in a fandom of millions of people could not find a person with a decent personality. It is simply impossible. And generalize a whole fandom when you have met 3 people with whom you have quarreled. It is wrong. I have had many discussions with many people who are part of many fandoms, such as, for example, Twice fans, Blackpink fans, ARMY's, ETS fans, but did I end up hating the group or not listening to them for nothing because their fans ruin the experience for me? No, because I know that the fandom does not represent the artist. This is just what I think. If afterwards it is different for you, do what you want, but know that you are missing the opportunity to follow a group you like just because you have met 4 idiotic people who have ruined your experience. 4 people don't do all the fandom, remember that. 4. The next time a scandal arises, I expect the situation that happened with Garin, Mina, Jimin and Section to happen again. This opinion is linked to the first. Yes, I realize that's a very bad thing to say, but I can't do anything else. Because you have shown, even with Garen's situation recently, how immature and stupid you are. You continue to trust unknown and random people on the internet, who only tell false information about these idols, and you believe them in no uncertain terms, without even doing the accurate research. And as much as I hate to think this thing, seeing how many of you behave when a scandal happens, I can't help but think that when such a scandal happens again, whether will be allegations of bullying, pedophilia or whatever, you will behave exactly as you did with the idols I mentioned earlier. And the thing is inevitable, because you always believe the victim, even if you have no actual evidence to say that this is the victim. 5. You have to stop acting as if BTS disbanded. I swear that the drama of some armies is getting on my nerves. BTS in their video of Festa, they explicitly said that they aren't disbanding, that they are only taking a break as a group, but that does not mean that they are gone. Guys, was it really not enough what Namin wrote on Weverse regarding this matter and how much the guys have told you more than once, that they are not disbanding? Stop making sad or melancholy edits, because they don't make sense right now. Keep them for when BTS actually will disband. Don't create this tide of sadness at all, please, it's annoying. 6. I started having problems with the fanfiction community. I also made a video on this issue, but I deleted it because I didn't like how it turned out. So I will explain briefly here why I have problems with this community, then maybe in the future I will make a video of it. Tell me too if you would like to see it. Let's get straight to the facts. I have a problem with the community that writes fan fiction, for the simple fact that some writers write things that shouldn't be romanticized. Such as mafia, depression, eating disorders, rape, abuse and so on. And I wonder here, are these people aware of what they are writing? Because from how they continue to write these things, as if they were things to romanticize and build a love story on them, as if people have never suffered from these events, the thing is quite problematic. For example, mafia, which at least I think you all know what it is, you should stop romanticizing it. Because, in countries like mine, unfortunately, these associations just create problems. They kill people for the sake of it, and they steal a lot of people's money and keep it all for them. Guys, mafia is not Mission Impossible, it doesn't mean being spies. If you don't know anything about what you are writing, then please don't write. If you want to write about these topics, you have to do it to make people understand why these things are dangerous. You don't have to raise them up in the heavens to build a love story, because it's not good, because there are people who have suffered at these things. And if someone tells you not to write about a certain topic, it's because they probably have something wrong, right? Then not to mention the fact that on Wattpad there are a lot of crap portraying the idol ships. For example, stories with Taekook all sucks, because they are all the same, they are obscene, and in some ways, they romanticize things they shouldn't romanticize. Does it really cost you to write about normal people who have no problems, or to write a fantasy, for example, so that you can put your imagination to work instead of writing these things? I ask you please, if you have done such a thing, delete it, out of respect for the people who have suffered through these problems. And I know that it's not always the writer's fault if people can't tell fiction from reality, but it's also true that you have an infectious power, because if you write about these things as if they were positive, inevitably people will end up believing that these are. 7. Videos that point out how much an idol has lost or gained weight are not good. I don't understand why such videos are so entertaining to watch. What is interesting when a person gains weight or puts on weight? Some of you are just obsessed with the bodies of idols and videos like that. They are proof of that. Then I don't think they would be very happy if the idols saw these videos, because I am already very convinced that many of them suffer from eating disorders. If you make these videos and one of them happens to see them, in my opinion they would feel even worse about themselves. And if you make these videos to make you feel better about your physical condition, then I recommend you stop and act like an adult and solve your problems on your own and not based on others. Because it's not good. But I'm also talking about videos where there are people who explain when an idol has a rectangle body, an hourglass, etc. Guys, don't you really see for yourself when someone has a certain body shape? And then I don't think it is so interesting to go to the discovery of body shapes, because they are not so useful to know. On TikTok a lot of the time, I happen to come across an account that does just these videos, where the person explains what kind of body certain idols have, because they want to help other people find their body shape. And here I am wondering, can't you just go on the internet and see what are the measures to take on your body, to make sure you find out what shape yours is? Why do you always have to base everything on what these idols have? 8. Yes, fans may not follow a group if it has too many members. Why do you get angry if someone says they don't want to follow a really big group like NCT? It's not a big deal, and not everyone has the time to learn 21 names and keep them in mind. I work with my father, I help my mom in the butcher shop, and I write stories. I don't have the time to waste learning so many names that I will forget. My memory is not one of the best. I struggle to learn names of groups even just with 5 members, especially if they do not have traits that distinguish them. I have too many things to keep in mind in my private life, and I don't intend to waste essential minutes learning 21 names, which won't change my life. And then, when a group has more than 7 members, that's already too much. Companies should keep under 7/5 members. It is also easier for them to split the distribution lines. 9. I'm starting to get scared about how many minors there are in the K-pop recently. I fail to understand all this need to debut minors. I mean, with male idols I can also understand for the military issue, but other than that, the debut age should be 18 and older. Teenagers shouldn't worry about their body criticism, they shouldn't go on extreme diets, they shouldn't get fatigued this way. A teenager's body must be able to develop. If these little boys and girls undergo such fatigue, they could suffer physical and mental damage in the future. Not to mention the fact that there are many pedophiles in the K-pop industry, and it's no secret that there are, and I don't feel comfortable knowing this. It's just disgusting. Well everyone, the video ends here. Let me know with a comment whether or not you agree with my opinions, obviously always remembering to remain civil in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video, and we will meet again in the next video. Bye bye.